Scentland, the land of scent. Hello and welcome everyone. Chris back with another fragrance review, and this is going to be special because we're going to be looking at a geographically specific area, country, and I'm going to introduce this more and more, looking at fragrances from all over the world. And I do this because what I like about a fragrance is not how great the marketing or the hype or the love is about the fragrance. I don't look for any popularity, number of reviews or subscribers in regards to a fragrance. I look for the uniqueness and the special aspect that the fragrance brings to the table. And as such, this is not necessarily related to a specific brand or a specific genre, like is it niche or is it designer, is it mainstream, is it mass market. A fragrance can be great or bad no matter where it comes from. It's a very democratic system. And for today's review, I have chosen the top 3 fragrances from Poland. Now, I have to confess, I've never been to Poland. I know loads of Polish people, they're fantastic folks. And I had the chance to discover some of their very unique fragrances. And I happen to own them as well. And there are definitely 3 that I'd like to really pick and introduce to you because they're absolutely worth getting your nose at, because each of them is just very special. Let's take a look at them. Let's start with the flagship of Polish perfumery, right? 1919 is the year, and there is a fragrance, an eau de cologne. I get back to this aspect, right to this point, called very nicely in Polish, and please correct me if I'm wrong with the spelling, called Przemyślawka. That's the fragrance, Przemyślawka. It's a fantastic juice. I'll put it here in front because I don't need to be in the picture really. It's maybe too close. This fragrance, ladies and gentlemen, is a classy, traditional cologne water. It is a, I wouldn't say a copy, but a close brother or sister to the Echt Kölnisch Wasser from 4711 or 4711 aus Köln. This one coming from Cologne, right? The city of Cologne in Germany. The difference between these two guys is in terms of smell, it's the same genre. It's this fresh, citrusy, uplifting, extremely uplifting, almost like barbershop uplifting, but not soapy barbershop. It's very citrusy barbershop uplifting fragrance. The only and major difference is that compared to this one, Przemyślawka, even though it's an eau de cologne, it lasts you with a general, you have to apply like generously, but it will last you throughout the day. No kidding. Put some nice amount beneath your shirt and it will greet you back when you come home in the evening after work. It is fantastic. This just will not do that. It will evaporate after a while. But this one, Przemyślawka from 1919 from Poland, this is truly a classy Polish flagship fragrance. It's been done by a company called Lechia in Poznan, the city of Poznan, and it's still being manufactured. You have to look for it, obviously, but it's still available. So that's on spot number 3. Spot number 2, ladies and gentlemen, is a fantastic fragrance. I was struggling on which one to put on number 2 or number 1, because this next juice, ladies and gentlemen, is just mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing. Hey, here you go. A fragrance called Derby. Now, I don't really have to talk much about this fragrance. Everything is on the label. Ladies and gentlemen, from the shape of the bottle, or the flacon, as we say in perfume maniac language, already indicates that this is a classy fragrance, right? The color of the juice, yeah, it's a fresh fragrance, right? But look at this thing here. Actually, these two little fellas on the label. And guess what? I didn't have a very hard job explaining how Przemysławka smelled, because I said it's fresh citrusy, right? Just eau de cologne, just fresh barbershop citrus. Here at the Derby, we have probably the most well done, or most natural animalic note I have ever come across. Okay, there's loads of fragrances, especially in niche, that are trying to get across this civet type of, something. Sometimes it's a bit fickle, even sometimes it's a bit like, this horse kind of stable vibe. These things, maybe wet dog. But ladies and gentlemen, Derby, the basis of Derby is similar to Przemysławka. It's a very, very fresh citrus barbershop. But on top of that, guess what? And please don't be offended, ladies and gentlemen. On top of that comes a good dash of true, fresh horse shite. It is true. I'm not kidding. It's true. Even as you open this splash bottle, it is unbelievable. It's like you poured Przemysławka here. You're out on a horse track, right? Just preparing for the races, to see some races. You bought your tickets and you placed your bids and all that. And you have this bottle of Przemysławka, and then you approach the racetrack, okay? And then a horse just had a fresh dump. And then you put this thing and spill it onto the dump. That's when you get Derby. And I don't mean it in a negative way, okay? I love the smell of a horse stable, even when actually horses dump in the horse. That's one of the most natural things that an animal can do. They will always do it anywhere. A dog, a cat, a horse. So there's no problem at all. And a horse track has this feeling. Horse stables have this smell. Okay? There's no better fragrance in this world. And I mean, like, I've smelled a good few of them, including like fragrances like Rockabar from Hermes, which have this fantastic horse stable, sort of vibe. This one covers this in an incredibly natural way while staying refreshing with the citrus. This may sound very weird, but you feel like a lord, like an upper tent person visiting the horse tracks and, having a nice drink, sunny day, and you dress neatly, and you're just by the side of the horse track, and that's how you smell. That's what you smell. Again, incredible fragrance. Derby. Same manufacturer, Lechia in Poznan. Fantastic job, really. Amazing cologne. And spot number 1 is another Polish masterpiece. I really call it masterpiece because performance-wise, actually, coming back to Derby, it's the weakest of the 3, but it's the most original of the 3, right? This is how it ended in the second spot. This fades a bit quicker than Przemysławka does, but the next one on spot number one is the most is the best performing fragrance and the most wearable, probably most versatile as well. It's dating back to 1960s, ladies and gentlemen. And you know again what the Polish did to this? Nothing. Rien. No reformulation, no redesign of the bottle, no new style of bottle, no trying to appeal to new audiences. No, they just kept this fragrance in its original state for the audience who likes it. Who doesn't like it, who cares? Fragrance I'm talking about is Konsul. Look at this. Look at this. It's a splash bottle, right? It's a 120 ml splash bottle. It's simple. It's extremely simple, right? Even the whole label and all that. You see this type of. You can see this sitting on a shelf in 1966 somewhere, and the guy is reaching for it. And for the last 50 years, it has not changed. What the fragrance is all about is, you can see actually from the colors. It's green, it's yellow, it's fresh. It is a citrusy green fragrance that again comes from the citrusy barbershop genre that we've been talking about, or I've been talking about with Przemysławka and even Derby. But this one takes it into the green direction, right? And meaning that you get a nice, piney, mossy, green, not aggressive, but very reassuring, comforting greenness throughout the day when, after a long while, the citruses evaporate. And you're left with this greenness which lasts you again throughout the entire working day. It's again an eau de cologne. So explain to me, please, how can all these eau de parfums and niche eau extrait de parfums and evaporate in 5 hours? If I have a cologne here, extremely cheap, that lasts me throughout the day, okay? That's where I start to have issues with expensive designer, overhyped designer and overhyped niched expensive fragrances, right? If I get across something like Konsul, which is extremely original, extremely well done, extremely natural smelling, and extremely well performing, okay? Get my point? Good. So, occasion for this one, all of these maybe more daytime, okay? It's not a clubbing scent. Age-wise, all the three are, well, you know, it's fresh citrus. Anybody can wear it. It's even genderless, I'd say. You know, probably more leaning toward the masculine. But for Przemysławka, well, definitely that's a genderless fragrance here. For Derby, more sort of a man's fragrance, I think, because of this strange horse-shite vibe in it. It's maybe not that elegant for a lady to wear that, right? It's the smell of a jockey, maybe. And Konsul is also probably a bit more masculine because it's this traditional fougere barbershop structure that is being represented in all the three of them. But Konsul wins because it's closest to my taste. It has this fantastic green citrus thing going on. The performance is the best from those three. I mean, it lasts me easily on clothes, next day, 24 hours. Imagine, right? And the most beautiful thing about all these three, they're extremely cheap. They're cheap and they're original. It's still being made, right? But they haven't changed it. It's also Lechia Poznan. I understand that it's not on the shelves in every Polish shop, but you can get it, right? If you look for it in Poland, you can get it. So I am tremendously overwhelmed by the quality of these, the originality of these, even though if Przemysławka is maybe a bit of a copy of the Echt Kölnisch Wasser, but it's better than that, right? And the fact that these are still alive and still being made is a huge compliment to Lechia and Poznan, that they still put the effort and there's still a market for these fragrances. As I say, I'm totally overwhelmed. I keep using these, most of them Konsul. most of the times console, because I like this green, fresh, citrusy vibe with this nice green, comforting, aromatic backdrop. But sometimes in the morning there's nothing better than Przemyślawka, and sometimes you don't even have to go to a racetrack to enjoy Derby. I just love them. These are my top three from Poland. Try them, try them, try them. Start to look away from nowadays designer mess, whatever, niche. Forget it. Go towards the fragrances that have a message, that talk to you, that represent something. Okay, this is my message to you. That was Chris, and see you soon for another review. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.